Van D, a dynamic leader with decades of experience building companies and crushing sales. He's been there and done that.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello. My name is Van D.
Inspiring audiences across the country to do it too. Here's Van.
Welcome to the Van D podcast. I'm so glad you're with me today. I've got a special guest and friend with me, but before we talk to Jeana Goosmann, I would like you to please subscribe to this podcast. This is one of the few business podcasts out there that's going to deliver you information that you can use no matter what position you are in your company. If you're a big-time CEO like Jeana, or if you're a salesperson, or if you're in leadership, or just in business in general, entrepreneurs, this show is for you. So please subscribe and maybe share this with other people that want to succeed in business, because that's what we're here for you, to help you grow. And you might learn some things to make your personal life a little better too. So now I get to talk about somebody that I deeply admire for her business acumen and just a great human being, attorney Jeana Goosmann. Welcome to the journey, but you've been on my radio show, the Van D podcast.
Well, thanks, Van. I'm so excited to be here with you.
I'm glad you're here. I had to think for a minute. See what happens when you turn 40, you forget where you're at. And she's over here, yeah, right, plus 30, 40 years. But let me just tell you a little bit about Jeana. She's the founder and CEO and managing partner of Goosmann Law Firm. She is the CEO's attorney and personally acts as general counsel to CEOs all over the place and company presidents. One of the things I like to brag about Jeana, and I've got a list, so I could make this whole podcast about all the accomplishments of Jeana, but I want to talk to her, so we're going to keep the bio a little short. But one of the cool things that I really admire about her is she was listed in America's top 100 Bet the Company litigators, and that's a big deal because there's so many attorneys in the United States, and she's been recognized. I mean, we could go on and on about the things that you've done. Let me just ask you, is there one favorite accomplishment you've had in your career that stands out? I know they're all equally important, but is there one that you say, I'm really glad this happened?
Absolutely. So in 2021, I won the Enterprising Woman of the Year award. Wow. And I went to Florida and received the award. And I brought several of my girlfriends with me to be supportive. And that just really meant a lot because there are 6 different nominating women's organizations that roll up into that award. And to be the recipient in the United States in 2021 was really exciting.
That's a really big deal. Yeah, congratulations. Plus, when you have your friends with you to help celebrate it, it just makes it that much better.
Absolutely. It was a fun night. I will always remember it, and it's one that I cherish.
Yeah, awesome. Another thing before we get started is I'm a big fan of reading books that help me move the needle forward and make me better at what I do. I'm an author myself. I've written 6 books. And I know that people have gotten better at their industries and their careers and life in general after reading them. Well, I became a better business person and human after reading this book, Worth It. I highly recommend it. It's an easy read, and you can still get it at Amazon.
Absolutely.
Yes, so I highly recommend learning more about Jeana and purchasing her book, and they make great holiday gifts.
Absolutely.
So I could go on and on about why you should buy our books, but
especially with the color red, right? I had to make a ready, yes. Execute, deliver is what red stands for, and that goes well with the holidays. I
love that. Ready, execute, deliver. That's really what business is all about.
It is.
Yeah, and I know you preach that.
Definitely.
So I want to dig right into, you started a program that I think is brilliant, and I have never heard any other law firms doing this, and it's a fractional general counsel program You know, we live in a world now more than ever of entrepreneurs. More and more people have quit the corporate world. I want to go out and start my own company. I want to be all that I can be. And so we need to cater to them. And it sounds like you've hit the nail on the head, catering to entrepreneurs, and not just the gigantic companies that you represent. You're now making your world-class service at Goosmann Law available to the small guys.
Absolutely. So we created the Fractional General Counsel program to help the majority of businesses who don't have an in-house lawyer on their team. They don't have a general counsel. So there is a point at which a company grows up in size and they realize, hey, we might need somebody full time. But there's a big divide between the companies when they get started to the point where they think they actually need a lawyer in their C-suite. And we're looking to fill that gap for them. So what we've noticed is we have a lot of clients that maybe call us when they have a problem. But if they could be more proactive, we could help them issue spot and prevent problems from happening. So that's a big reason. Absolutely. Preventative, proactive. So huge reason why we created the Fractional General Counsel program. So a lot of people are used to like fractional CFOs or even a fractional CMO. And we're doing the same thing, but for the attorney slot of being their general counsel, which means that they would get an email address at the firm that a partner and an associate monitor. They can send us their questions as they arise, their contracts. And then a partner would meet with them once a month with their executive team. And then quarterly, we would do a strategic meeting as well. So we really get to know them and their goals and be a partner with them as they're trying to grow and develop their business.
And that's crucial for companies to make sure, because they could be working so hard on building this big business, but they might have done something that may not be legal or may not, be above board, and somebody may call them out on it 2 years later, where if they had somebody in their camp that they're comfortable with,
right,
it may have avoided, like you said, being proactive well in advance.
Exactly. So a lot of times companies and leaders of businesses, they don't know what they don't know. And that's not their fault. They didn't go to law school necessarily. Yeah. And so that's why we want to really partner with them and help them along their journey and be proactive, because we will see things that they won't see. Yep. It doesn't mean, on the other hand, that we're going to stop them from achieving their goals. I think that's always a fear too. Oh, it's slowed up with legal, or it's bogged down in legal. Yeah. We are solvers, right? We will solve problems and help make it happen, but make sure it's happening in a way that's a win for the business, and so that it won't cause greater risk later.
And you know that being responsive is like key with entrepreneurs, because we're just waiting for answers.
Absolutely. Yeah. We live in instant gratification culture right now. People, if they send you a text, they want a response. If they send you an email, they want it now. And I think knowing that somebody is looking out for you and that we're responsive, right? Yeah. We might not know every answer off the top of our heads, but just knowing that, hey, I'm going to look into that and I will get back to you. That means the world to people. Knowing that, okay, I can cross that off my plate, Jeana's got it, or somebody on her team has it. It's really important to have that responsiveness built into this process.
Yeah, and that's beautiful, especially with what you're doing now, and you're so right. So it's funny because I started my business back in 1983, and I'm one of these guys, Jeana, and we've done business together. You know, you and I respond immediately to each other. And that's just the way, that's kind of what I'm known for, that if Van doesn't respond to you within a couple hours, something's wrong. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of my reputation. But I started reflecting back when I was driving the other day, and I was thinking about how did I do it in the early 80s? We had no cell phones. We had no computers. We had no technology. All I had was, and a lot of young people were like, what the heck is he talking about? All I had was a box, probably the size of a piece of copy paper, 8 by 11, and I'd leave in the morning, and I'd come back in the evening, and then I'd press this button, and it would play all the messages that I got throughout the day. And you didn't sometime get back with people till that night or the next day, and it was acceptable. Mm-hmm. And I think about it today, how did we do that? Now, we get a text, we're in the car, and we're calling them in the car. We can't wait, and almost getting an accident. And it's just our mindset, is customer service. But I learned about customer service when I first got in business, and I'm going to use a scenario, is I'm listing somebody's house. It was back in the early 80s. And I always wanted to know why people used me. Of course, I thought I was the best in the business, which is why. And if you don't think that way, if you don't think you're the best at what you do, then you shouldn't be doing it. Because if you don't think you're the best, your clients aren't going to think you're the best.
And you won't be confident doing it.
You won't be confident doing it. And so, but I still would interview my clients, and I'd say, hey, Jeana, thank you so much for allowing my company to list your home. I'm just curious, this is the second or third time you've sold a house. Why didn't you use the previous agent? And Jeana, 9.9 out of 10 times it was the same response. They didn't have good communication skills, and they didn't stay in touch with me. So I knew as a young buck in my young 20s, I don't want to be that guy.
Right.
So I was over the top at getting back with people. Mm-hmm. And it's like you said, I may get a text from somebody saying, hey, I need to visit with you. And if I'm tied up all day, just letting them know that they matter, I would text back, and I do today. Great to hear from you, Jeana. I'm with clients all day. Where can I call you back tonight after 7 o'clock? I guarantee you the response I get is, don't worry about it, just call me tomorrow. But the fact is, I let them know how important they were to me.
Absolutely.
And that's what we need more than anything today. A lot of people feel like they're on an island. Mm-hmm. And it's a response. When you respond to somebody in a timely manner, what you're shouting out loud is, you matter to me.
And if you can't respond because you're tied up, I don't know, you're at that open
Somebody
house, you're
team.
doing whatever,
Yeah.
get somebody on your team to do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
I'll ask my paralegal or another attorney at the firm. And it's not that I'm not willing and able to call them back.
You're
I
busy.
will,
Yeah.
but I want to make sure they get a quick response. So it does help a lot to have a team and then to work together as a team. And that is so critical because a lot of times people have team members and they don't reach out to them for help either.
Yeah, and I think that's up to us. When we meet with people, we immediately say in our first initial meeting, we're so excited. It's always we, not me. We're so excited to do business with you. If you ever try to get a hold of me and I'm busy, somebody from my team will be in touch because we're all working for you.
Absolutely.
And if you do that up front, if Jeana doesn't get back with them, but somebody else does at Goosmann Law, they're going to be just fine.
You bet. And I like to tell people, I have a team of 60 and I don't accomplish everything all by myself. There's a reason I have a team. Yeah. And when you hire us, you're hiring the whole firm. Yeah. And people like that. Then they know, okay, I have a whole team of lawyers behind my back. This is great.
Yeah. And it's very comforting. And we do the same thing. I encourage our agents. This company I run now is called Prime Home Realty in Omaha, Nebraska is where we're broadcasting from. My last company, I had over 400 agents, and it was just too big. But so we brag when we talk to clients. I say, you're not just getting me. You're getting a team of 30-plus people that care about the results for you.
Absolutely. That's so powerful when you have that team that you've carefully curated, too, by the way. Yeah. I know you have wonderful people on your team. And
I call them all family. Yeah, I mean, I call all of, and we vet people. And if and now with social media, they've made it easy where you can vet somebody in 3 minutes. I mean,
everybody Googles you before they meet you.
Yeah. And it's like, who am I meeting with? Who am I about to offer my business to? Who am I considering to do business with?
Maybe soon it'll be they'll chat GPT you before they do business with you.
I got to tell you what, that's a whole nother topic. I'm old fashioned, Jeana. I'm just if you told me, Van, I know we're doing everything digitally, but would you please come to my house and I want to hand sign paperwork? I'm the guy that will do it because that's all I was used to. And the people in my firm make fun of me because I'm the old-fashioned guy on the team.
Well, I know you hold open doors for people too, and we still really like that.
Oh, I had a great mother. I had a great training on how to treat people. That's for darn sure. So, Jeana, we have an international show. People are watching this podcast from all over the world. Tell us where people need some advice, legal advice. They need to hire an attorney, an estate planner. They need one of your services because I know your law firm handles everything. What states are you in today?
You bet. So we are based in the Midwest, and we have offices in Nebraska, Iowa, and South Dakota. And then we have attorneys licensed in the surrounding states to those. But we do help people in different ways that come from out of our jurisdiction as well. So one example would be in the estate planning arena. We do a lot of estate planning in the state of South Dakota in particular. There's some advantages to either doing business or having an estate plan based in South Dakota. And we will get calls from people all over the world to help with them and doing business in the state of South Dakota because of those strategic advantages, like having additional asset protection or dynasty trusts or quiet trusts, various things like that. So we're happy to help if people want to get in touch with us. On our website is a great way to see what we do. We do have 6 practice area groups, our business group, our litigation, as well as trust and estates. And then we have employment, banking and finance, and family. So that's really what we focus on.
Yeah, that covers everything anybody needs.
We say we're legal for business and life.
Yeah, that's awesome. So tell me, how can the viewers get a hold of Goosmann Law, and how can they learn more about your company? Like, what's the website?
The website is www.goosmannlaw.com. It's GOOSMANNLAW.com.
That's awesome. And one of the things that I'm just a big fan of, and you have a reputation for in town, is I'm going to go back to this because it's a lost art, responsiveness. You know, especially in your world, you're helping people with maybe their biggest investments of their life, maybe their biggest challenges that they need you badly. Not far off is real estate. We help people with the biggest decisions of their life on buying or selling a home. So I preach to get back with people immediately. Now, it's amazing, which is fine with me. When I start doing business with somebody, I'll say, how do you prefer to do business, to communicate now that we're doing business? You want me to call you, email, or text? And it's email and text. That's what people want, which I prefer because I like everything documented. Like every conversation I have with a client, even if it's a simple real estate, I cut and paste and I save it in a digital file. And that way I don't leave anything to memory, because I've had situations where I've said, no, it was supposed to be on the 15th. They go, no, you said the 14th. I'll go back and they were right. And if I didn't have that documentation.
And you'll tell them they were right if they were and you were wrong,
absolutely,
right?
Yeah.
I think a lot of times what people want to do too is if they call the law firm, right, and they've never called before, what should they expect? Yeah. We have an intake team, and I'm really proud of our intake team, by the way. Most of them are pre-law college students that want to go to law school someday, and they are starting out working in our intake team. And as a result, they will answer the phone. We have a little bit of a script that they follow, but then they really listen to what the person's calling about. And they take good notes on it. We run our conflict check, and then they route it to the partner in charge of that particular practice of area. So,
what a cool service, not just for the client and for Goosmann Law, but for them.
Yes, they're getting great experience, and they get to hear, what are real issues that people encounter. And then they're smart. They're smart, talented college students, and they know which is the right partner in the firm to route that issue to. And that lets us get right back to the people timely when they're calling in with a new issue. Oh,
wow. That's really a great service, and that's benefits everybody.
It does, and it allows us to move that pipeline forward, too. I know we have 2 of our intake students that are in law school now this year, and they're going to be clerking for us now. So it really helps build that long-term relationship with both supporting the clients as well as with the firm.
And then you get a chance to see their work style and their habits and their manners to see if you want to bring them on full time.
Absolutely. And it gives them a chance to see, do I really want to be a lawyer? Because it's a big investment going to law school.
Right.
And so far, we're winning on that. They still all want to be lawyers, and they're progressing in their path.
You've mentored. I'm sure a lot of people want to follow in your footsteps. You've been a dream for a lot of people, and I'm sure that you play a big role in their decision.
Well, it definitely is part of what makes it worth it to be a business leader and have a team, is when you get to help develop other people and see them progress in their career path. And I know you've done the same, Van.
Yeah, I do. And I got to tell you something. You bring up the phrase worth it. When you came out with this book, and my audience knows I have ADD, and pretty soon I'll be talking about football scores. Just watch.
Oh, no, don't talk about football with me.
Okay. No football on the Van Deeb podcast today. We'll do it another day. But when I first read your book, Worth It, it reminded me of something, and it really played a huge role in my life. I started eliminating things that weren't worth it. And I think it's an ongoing process for business people. I don't care where you're at in your career, entrepreneurs, we've got to be careful to only doing the things that are going to contribute to our success, whether that's volunteering, whether that's getting involved in business projects, whatever that looks like to you, but eliminating the things that don't produce or that aren't conducive to you having a successful career. Worth it means that to me.
It really does. And it means that because if it's not worth it to you, you're not going to give it your all.
Yeah.
You're not going to go all in. You're not going to put all your chips on the table, invest your time, your resources. And then as a result, you're not advancing your company. You're putting your brand out there on something that perhaps you're not giving it your all. And you don't want to do that. So you do have to carefully curate what's worth it to you, what projects are you going to go after, what business ventures, you name it. And once you recognize this isn't worth it for me, you need to find a way to exit gracefully.
Yes, totally agree. And, I want to tell you, I want to say thank you, because I can't tell you how many people are going to benefit, that probably already have, on the Fractional General Counsel. It's got to think, first word I think of is comfort, because you usually hear people, and I get people saying, I need an attorney, who should I call? Well, they should already have one. If they have a company, they should have a contact.
It's amazing how many people don't, though. We will take on new clients.
Blows me away.
They will have 800 employees, and they don't have their company attorney. And it's really shocking. So there's a lot of underserved people out there when it comes to legal. And a lot of times, too, somebody will ask me, Jeana, who's your competition? And
you have none.
It's them doing things on their own.
There you go.
And when they do things on their own, they don't necessarily get the best results. And I think it's going to get a little worse, too, with things like ChatGPT and AI, because you can whip up a contract instantly. But AI wants to please you. And you don't necessarily ask the right questions or recognize when it's missing an important clause. So I think it is still really important to have that trusted legal advisor. And I want to encourage people to make sure you got one in your corner.
Yes, and I want to tell you, she's brought up ChatGPT. Be careful before you send out a piece or who you're sending it to without really proofing it. I've seen some monumental mistakes, and they become passed around as something laughable. So you've got to make sure that it's not the wrong information just because you put it into ChatGPT.
Absolutely. And the other thing people like about the Fractional General Counsel program is it allows them to budget what their legal spend is going to be. And a lot of folks don't like the surprise bill in the mail. Imagine that. So it's part of customer service too. How can we package our services to allow people to know up front, what is this going to cost? And how do I go about budgeting it throughout the year?
Yes. So if somebody calls you, they saw you on our video podcast and they want to call you, what's tradition? Is it tradition for somebody from your firm to go visit with them at theirs? Or is it more tradition? Are you inviting them in to your place? I would be a fan of inviting them into your place, because I love coming in your offices. It's so warm and comforting. I don't want to leave. I just want to hang out there.
Well, we love having people into our office, but honestly, more and more, we do a lot of things over video, whether it be on Zoom or Teams. or just a phone call and have that initial conversation that way. People value their time a lot, and just traveling from office to office, I find a lot of busy professionals are doing business on video, even since the pandemic, and we can certainly meet in person. Everybody's really learned how fast and efficient that is, and you still get some face-to-face time that way, but we're certainly happy to meet with people at their office, for them to come to us, but I would say the majority of meetings these days are over video.
Yeah, and I love that. I love it when people want to set up a video call, and I think it's respectful of other people's time too, because it's not just the 1 o'clock appointment. It's leaving at 12:30 to get there, and then drive time, dealing with everything. I think it's a lot. I think it's just a lot more respectful to offer that to a client and say, would you like to do it? And then have people pop in so they can meet him. Hey, John, this is my paralegal. Hey, John, this is the person that you'll be talking to. You know what I mean? I think
Absolutely.
I think it can make it kind of fun too.
Yeah, and it might depend on the type of law as well, as far as what are we doing for them and their service. I think when it comes to doing an estate plan, we do tend to still meet in person a lot of times with those folks, and they have to usually still sign a lot of their documents. But everything is getting more technologically based, and we're adaptable and like to make sure that we're serving our client in the way they want to be served. So much like you, we'll ask them, what's your preference? And then we adapt accordingly rather than making them make it our way.
But see, one of the things that you and I have in common in our past discussions, we don't want customers for today, one and done. We want them for life. And I tell our clients that we're not just doing business with you on this one transaction. We want you to think of us and your family and your friends forever. And so that's why there is no plan B for failure. We're going to be successful for you.
You have to deliver.
Yeah, exactly. Under promise and over deliver. This has gone by too fast, so that means I have to have you back. Or excuse me, I want to have you back.
I'd love it. It's been so much fun.
Yes, so I have Jeana Goosmann with me. Remember, Worth It. I love this book. It kind of changed my game a little bit as a businessman. And Jeana, one more time, would you please share your website for our audience to go to?
Happy to. It's Goosmann Law, GOOSMANNLAW.com.
Great. Also, please subscribe to this podcast. I want this coming into your inbox because these podcasts are going to help you become better, and anybody on your team should be watching. So please subscribe. And once again, thank you, Jeana.
Thank you, Van.
Yes. And thank you all for listening and watching another episode of the Van Deeb Podcast.